Okay, so you're in your pan tool at this point right now. You're going to open a new layer. Your width is going to be 872. Your height is going to be 476. Click OK. When you first start, you're going to have one layer. The background is going to be white. Go to New Raster Layer. Add a new raster layer. And at this point, make sure you go to Flood Fill Tool. And in your flood fill, choose your color, which is going to be black, and fill. Go back to your pan tool. So you should have two layers at this point. One layer is white. If you click this, it'll shut it off. And the next layer is black. Get another raster layer by pressing this button. So you have your third raster layer. At this point, you need to have all your textures, pictures, anything that you want to include into this banner that would match that particular color background. And you go into your materials color box, double click, and you click on pattern. In pattern, it'll show everything that you have on your workspace. And particularly the texture I want is a grungy gray texture. It'll match. Press OK. Go to your brush folder. Particularly, I'm hoping that you work on DeviantArt a lot and you download some of the brushes that they have. My favorite to use for this particular banner is going to be the burnt brush. Remember, your image that's coming from this brush is going to be the texture that you have in this box. Make sure that you select raster layer number 2 or 3, depending on your program. And basically just center it. We're going to see, we're going to see exactly how I did this. Your first layer of this effect, or whatever you choose, should be luminescent. And you should bring it all the way down to about 17. Okay, I'm just going back and trying to remember exactly how I did this one. I saved my layers. So the next one, on the one that you're building, you should have another layer. And this one should be 100%. Let's see. And at this particular point, we overlay, I believe. Let me check one more time. We're going to overlay a particular texture that I downloaded. So let's see if we can find it. Here we go. You're going to open this texture. I don't remember where I got this texture from exactly, but it happens to be one of my favorites. You're going to go to your pan tool, right click, copy, minimize. Add a new raster layer. Left click, right click. Make sure that your raster layer, the new one, which should be 4, is selected. Paste as a new selection. Go to selections, select none. Of course it looks like it's taking over your entire photo. How we're going to change that, we're going to go into this box, make sure raster layer 4 is selected. Go to the blend mode, which should be right under your opacity, and you click on overlay. New raster layer, of course, which should be raster layer number 5. Let me check one more time. Okay. Go back to your paintbrush. Remember, your color is still that texture. So you should have a raster layer number 5. Make sure nothing's on it. And do the same thing again. Go back to your opacity and bring it down to about 47. Okay. And in this particular photo, you're going to figure out what you want to have in the middle. So you go back to your painting. Let's use a manip that I made earlier. I had to downsize it. Create a new layer. And you're going to have her right in the middle of this. Go to selections, select none with whatever object you choose. While in this raster, as you can see, there are a lot of discrepancies, so go to your eraser tool. And round off some of the things that you may or may not see that you don't like. So let me check. Actually, I made a mistake. So I know you may want to go back to your layer, which is raster number 5. It's not 47, it's actually 56. 56 to 57. 52 actually. That's 52. back to the image itself, and she is normal. So let's open it. And I'm playing with this a bit to see just exactly where I am with most of this. So pretty much we can take it from here. Okay. Go to new raster layer. Make sure this raster layer is in front of her. And you're just going to have this on pause for a second. Go back to raster layer number 6. Go to effects, 3D effects, drop shadow. In your drop shadow options, you have the option of putting the blur around her anywhere. So I kind of want the blur to be right behind her, but I want it to be a little bit larger. Click back on raster number 6. Go to effects, effects browser, drop shadow. Do the same thing again, but maybe spread it out a little bit. In your blur option, make sure your attributes opacity is at 100 at this point. Blur, make it come out a little bit more, a little bit brighter, maybe about 94.20. And to give her a little bit of an edge, click back on raster number 6. Go to effects, 3D effects, drop shadow. With the exception of having it that bright behind her, take that blur right here and go all the way back down. So about 7.25. Your color can be anything, but for this particular photo, I want it white. So you press OK. And let's see. What's next should actually be your line art. So no matter where you are at this point, you should click on raster layer number 7. Come here to your pen tool. Once you get to your pen tool, glide right back up here into your materials, double click, go right to pattern, and click on one of your chosen pictures that you have on your workspace. Once again, I'm going to click this one once more. That's the big circle that we overlaid earlier. And I'm going to create a small line, but even though I kept the discrepancies in the lines there in her pictures, it was for it was for my particular reason. Since it's a grungy type banner thingy. um, make sure your line is even. You might have to pull it out more to make it even. Once you see that it's not even, make sure your line is as even as possible.